Will you vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker?
What I'm going to do is make sure that the voices of the people of St. Louis are heard and that we have what we need. And so you'll find out then.
Congresswoman-elect Cori Bush refusing to say whether she plans to back Nancy Pelosi's bid for another term as Speaker. Progressives are now pressuring Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and other members of the squad to force Pelosi's hand on Medicare for all, demanding that she, meaning Speaker Pelosi, back a single-payer system if she wants their support for re-election as Speaker. We bring in our panel, Liam Donovan, former regional director for the National Republican Senatorial Committee and principal at the Policy Resolution Group and co-host of Lobby Shop. Liam, we got through your resume, so now the segment's over. Took too long. Jose Aristimuno, former DNC deputy press secretary. Gents, appreciate you both joining us. Jose, how much power, given the thin Democratic majority, do progressives really have?
Look, I mean, the fact of the matter is that in this case, talking about Medicare for all, they don't have the votes. They don't have the votes. I think it's a waste of time for progressives to try to push AOC to make or do a threat for Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is not going to go anywhere. I'll say it right now. She's going to continue to be Speaker of the House. She's a phenomenal speaker. We need somebody who knows how to negotiate, who's got experience in Washington, and Nancy Pelosi, it's that person.
That is a Sherman-esque prediction and statement on your part. Also, noteworthy and worth mentioning that betting against Nancy Pelosi in Washington, D.C. is almost universally a bad bet. You're talking about progressives who have been sort of pressuring Pelosi, but more importantly, pressuring the squad. This is Justin Jackson, the NFL player, who said this. Take a look at his tweet. If AOC and the squad don't do what Jimmy Dore has suggested, withhold their vote for Pelosi for speakership unless Med for All gets brought to the floor for a vote, they will be revealing themselves. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez responding with how politics works. Problem with this idea is that there isn't enough thought given to step two. The Dem votes aren't there yet with a razor-thin margin. The Dem no's are greater margin. So you issue threats, hold your vote and lose. Then what? If you want to know who's opposed, look at the co-sponsor list. Liam, how do Republicans exploit this?
Well, I think Jose is exactly right in the sense that, progressives do have to be careful what they wish for. And I think it's interesting to see AOC take this tack of kind of being the seasoned veteran here, the realist when it comes to progressive values. I think you're already seeing Republicans really try to exploit this, particularly, I mean, even in Georgia, just saying that if you give Democrats full control in the House, in the Senate, and the White House, they're going to do all these big things. But I think, again, to Jose's point, the idea that you're going to get AOC and the Alyssa Slotkins of the world to agree on Medicare for all, or the Joe Manchins of the world and, let's say, a Raphael Warnock to agree on anything, it's just tough. So I think it's a balancing act for everybody. Republicans are going to beat this one, as far as they can and ride it. But it's tough to see Democrats, split these narrow holes that they have, and Pelosi's going to have a balancing act on her hands.
This is an important point because Republicans learned in 2017 and 2018 how difficult it was to get things done when you were trying to deal with the most extreme members of your caucus. And oftentimes, perfect is the enemy of good. What's the lesson for Democrats now in 2021 where they're going to have the White House, the House, and potentially the Senate?
Well, I think, AOC is kind of earning her stripes here. I think you're seeing a little bit of realism seep in here. And I think the understanding is you're no longer the insurgent if you want to accomplish things, and especially now that you have the power to do things.
I was asking Jose that. Sorry. You still there, Jose?
Well, thank you. And let me just add this quickly. We got to remember the American people elected Joe Biden to be the next president of the United States. And Joe Biden sets the agenda. Now, he should set the agenda for the United States for the next 4 years. And he's been against Medicare for all. He said it from the beginning. He wants to improve Obamacare. We need to improve it. He understands that we need to lower costs. But we're going to, he set the agenda. And look, when you try to go all the way to the left, and I think Republicans will agree with me with this, Republicans had trouble trying to get their agenda set forth when they had the Tea Party. And now we're having trouble, and I'll admit it, we're having trouble when we have the ultra left. Joe Biden was elected president because he's looking to go back to the center. He wants to bring Republicans to the table. I'm hopeful that he'll elect a Republican at least somewhere in his cabinet and within his White House, his administration. But back to the point. Look, there's no votes. Pelosi's here to stay. We need to look for ways to work for Republicans if we want to move this country forward.
Liam, as much as Republicans have worked against Nancy Pelosi, and you point out rightly, she's a fabulous foil, and the polling shows that in somewhere like Georgia. Is the devil you know for Republicans better than the devil you don't?
Well, I think AOC's said herself, even among people that want, new leadership in the party, there's nobody waiting there to step up. And so I think while she's here, Republicans are going to exploit that. I don't think anybody's quite as scary. I do think anybody that steps into that shoes, the leadership, the speaker role, is going to be demonized, is going to be demagogued. But for now, I think she's serving her purpose, and I think Republicans will be sorry when she's gone.
Jose, at one point in the last Congress, the combined ages of Democratic leadership, the top three posts, was roughly equal to that of the Republic itself. Is there a breath of fresh air and a new generation that's going to be able to take over, not from the far left, but from the middle?
Well, we should. We should continue to encourage more citizens to run for office. We need more representation, Latino representation, African American representation. Yeah, we should do that, and I think that's part of the responsibility of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. We need more young people to run for office.
Well, amen to that. I think both sides agree on that, and there's young talent on both sides that's coming up. Liam, Jose, appreciate it, gentlemen. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.